Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Yesterday for me, I'm not sure when this video is going up, so I went to the Lions book sale with my boyfriend Phil and my family as well, because we kind of like met up with them there. Now if you guys have been on my channel for a while, you guys will know that I go to the Lions book sale like every single year. I love going. I've been for as long as I can remember. If you guys don't know what the Lions book sale is, and if you don't live in New Zealand, then it's basically just a whole heap of books in this like massive like hall. They're all secondhand. You can also find like records, sheet music, and like DVDs and CDs there as well. Also some games. They are sold for really cheap. They range from about 50 cents to probably like $5. All the money that they raise go towards the Lions charity. I'm not exactly sure at this current point how much they've raised, because it goes over 2 days and today is actually the second day that it's running, like a half an hour drive away. I'm kind of tempted to go back again, but I already spent quite a lot of money yesterday, and I went twice yesterday. So it opens at 8 o'clock. So I went in the morning at 8 o'clock with Phil, and then we met up with my family there, and then because I had to work afterwards, I went back after work with Phil, because I kind of like to go first thing in the mornings when it opens, because obviously like it's like first in first serve, so you get a really good selection of books to choose from. But then I also liked going again later on because there wasn't as many people, and it's kind of like a lot of the time they have books under like the tables and boxes. It's books on the tables are like going and getting picked through. They'll bring those ones up, and I actually managed to pick up quite a few. I found more in the morning than I did in the afternoon. I actually managed to find 2 whole bags full of books. If you guys watched my last year's video, you will know that I also got 2 bags last year. If you haven't seen my last year's one, I'll link it down below. I'll link the playlist of my Lions book sale hauls down below, because I've done one for 2016 as well. But I do really love to read, and so does my boyfriend. So I actually managed to find, I think it was 21 books in total, and my boyfriend found 20, which a couple of them he bought for his dad, so I guess it doesn't really count. But we both bought a crap ton, and the stuff in these bags are just the ones that I've bought. I was going to show you the ones that my boyfriend got as well, but this video would be like 8 million years long. I've just basically got like some Lord of the Rings ones, a couple of thrillers, couple of John Grisham's, and a lot of Stephen King. It's a very long intro. Let's dive in and I will show you guys what books I did pick up. This bag here, this is in no particular order of which ones I found first and whatnot. It's just as I'm kind of picking them out. This one here, now this one is The Choice by Nicholas Sparks. This one I wasn't 100% sure if I already did have, but turns out I do already have it. I'll probably end up giving this one to Mum, because I texted Mum earlier and she said that she doesn't have this one. Me and my boyfriend watched this movie not long ago, and it's such a cute movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, I'll link the trailer down below. So that if you do want to go and watch it, then you can. This one was $2, so all their paperbacks and hardbacks were $2. I think their cooking books $1 to a couple of dollars depending on which one it is, and all their children's books were like 50 cents, and if they had like a little yellow sticker on them, it was the price on the yellow sticker. But obviously I've like taken all the price tags off and everything, because I reorganized our shelf yesterday to fit all these ones in. This one here, so this one is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Now it's actually really funny, because Shelby found this book as well, and she found it before I did, on a different table, and she was saying that she'd heard so many good things about this book, so that's why she picked hers up. And I'm pretty sure I've either read about this in a magazine, seen it on YouTube somewhere, or just have heard people talking about it, and that it's really good. So then I saw it on another table and I thought I'd pick it up, and it was one of Whitcoul's top 100 books, so it must be a good book. The circus arrives without warning, no announcements precede it. It is simply there when yesterday it was not. This one was $2 as well. This one here, now this is The Swarm by Frank Schwartzing. I don't know, my pronunciation is so bad. It's spelled S-C-H-A with like 2 dots above it, T-Z-I-N-G. Just says a rip-roaring monster movie of a plot times. So I'm guessing it's a movie as well. It says the 2 million copy international best-selling phenomenon. Novel of the deep. Something strange and terrible is happening deep in the oceans. Tides and currents are shifting. Normally peaceful creatures are attacking, ships are sinking, fishermen drowning. The world ecology is in crisis, and this is just the beginning. Led by the claret-loving Norwegian Sigurd Johansen and the Inuit whale expert Leon Anawak, a motley group of scientists find themselves in a race against time to prevent a global cataclysm and to head off those who want to exploit it in their own pursuit of power. A suspense-packed ecological thriller. I love anything to do with the ocean. I love any kind of documentaries to do with the ocean. I love walking down to the ocean. I love the sound of the ocean. Everything about the ocean just relaxes me, and anything to do with water and the ocean I'm all over. So when I saw this book, I knew that I had to pick it up. I've been really into finding really good thrillers. I know last year I found some really good thrillers as well. The next book I found may possibly be one of my favorites that I found. This one is The Yearbook Committee by Sarah Ayyub. I haven't read anything from her before, but the reason that I picked it up was because of the cover initially, because I just thought it was such a cute kind of like retro vintage kind of cover, and then I read the back and I thought, yeah, this sounds like me. 5 teenagers, 5 lives, 1 final year. The school captain. Ryan has it all, or at least he did until an accident snatched his dreams away. How will he rebuild his life, and what does the future hold for him now? The newcomer. Charlie's just moved interstate and she's determined not to fit in. She's just biding her time until year 12 is over and she can head back to her real life and her real friends. The loner. At school, nobody really notices Maddie, but at home, Maddie is everything. He's been single-handedly holding things together since his mum's breakdown, and he's never felt so alone. The popular girl. Well, the popular girl's best friend. Cool by association. Tammy's always bowed to peer pressure, but when the expectations become too much to handle, will she finally stand up for herself? The MP's daughter. Gillian's dad is one of the most recognisable people in the state, and she's learning the hard way that life in the spotlight comes at a very heavy price. 5 unlikely teammates thrust together against their will. Can they find a way to make their final year a memorable one, or will their differences tear their world apart? It was actually one of the first ones that I found. Again, this next book might be one of my most favourite books that I found, just because I've been wanting this book for so long. And this was one that I actually found on my second trip back to the book sale, which is strange because I don't know how anyone didn't pick it up. And this is Hello Life by Marcus Butler. If you haven't ever heard of Marcus Butler before, he's a YouTuber. He's one that I'm subscribed to, but I don't watch all his videos, I just watch some of them. And I remember when this book came out and it was like a really big thing. Now I actually saw a girl pick this up, show her friend, and kind of like flip through it. And as soon as I saw her looking at it, I'm like, please put it down, please put it down, please put it down. And she did, and then I like went over and grabbed it because I wanted this book. So it just says, Marcus Butler made his name on YouTube by being totally ridiculous, dressing up as his alter ego Margaret, smashing bra-related world records with his friend Alfie Days, who I watch, drinking the contents of his mum's fridge all in one go. Marcus would do anything to make people laugh, and subscribers flock to his channel in their millions. But what sets Marcus apart from the rest is his ability to combine being stupidly funny with his genuine insight and thoughtful guidance. Hello Life is a collection of Marcus's best advice, lifestyle tips, and funniest stories. From dating do's and don'ts to family bereavement, bad hair days to bad carbs, exam pressure to bullying. Nothing is off limits. With a comprehensive section on healthy living, this part autobiography, part self-help guide unveils Marcus's roadmap to success for anyone navigating the trickier aspects of the modern world. So I just thought that sounded quite nice. Again, this was $2, and then the other 2 books that I showed you previously, so the thriller and the yearbook committee, were also $2. This next book was actually the first one that I found, and my boyfriend introduced me to the movie. Must have been like 4 months ago now or something. And as soon as I saw it and showed him, he's like, yes, get it. So we got it. And that is this one here, which I know that my boyfriend will also read. It is Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews. It was a good movie. It wasn't like my most favourite movie that I've watched, but it was a good movie. This is the funniest book you'll ever read about death. Not the best line to have on the back, but you know. It is a universally acknowledged truth that high school sucks, but on the first day of his senior year, Greg Gaines thinks he's figured it out. The answer to the basic existential question, how is it possible to exist in a place that sucks so bad? His strategy, remain at the periphery at all times, keep an insanely low profile, make mediocre films with the one person who is even sort of his friend, Bill. This plan works for exactly 8 hours. Then Greg's mum forces him to become friends with a girl who has cancer. This brings about the destruction of Greg's entire life. An irresistible novel about friendship, identity, and acute myelogenous leukemia. Praise for Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. In Her Shoes by Jennifer Weiner. I've got her Best Friends Forever book. Well, apparently this one here is a film starring Cameron Diaz and Toni Collette. Haven't seen it yet, but I really want to. And I just thought the cover was so cute. I love these shoes. I think they're really cool. Rose and Maggie think they have nothing in common but a childhood tragedy, shared DNA and the same size feet, but they're about to find out that they are more alike than they'd ever believe. Rosie Feller is 30, a successful lawyer with high hopes of a relationship with Jim, Mr. Not Quite Right, a senior partner in her firm. The last thing she needs is her messed up, only occasionally employed sister Maggie moving in, drinking, smoking, stealing her money and her shoes, and spoiling her chance of romance. If only Maggie would grow up and settle down with a nice guy and a steady job. Maggie is drop dead gorgeous and irresistible to men. She's gonna make it big as a TV presenter or a singer or an actress. All she needs is a lucky break. What she doesn't need is her uptight sister Rose interfering in her life. If only Rose would lighten up and have some fun and learn how to use a pair of tweezers. I just thought it just sounded like it's going to be like a really funny back and forth book. So this one was $2 and so was Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. Next book again I found on my second trip to the Lions book sale. Again was $2 and that is this one here. So this one is The Descendants by Kai Hart Hemmings. I haven't seen the movie to this. I started watching it but then Mum didn't want me watching it because it was going to make her too sad. And it stars Shailene Woodley. A descendant of one of Hawaii's largest landowners, Matt King finds his luck change when his fun-loving, flighty wife Joni falls into a coma, victim of a boating accident. Matt is left in sole charge of his 2 daughters, teenage ex-model and recovering drug addict Alex, and Scotty, a feisty 10-year-old. And then Matt discovers Joni has been having an affair. Deciding to seek out Joni's lover so that he too has a chance to say his goodbyes, Matt takes to the road with his daughters on a memorable journey of painful revelations and unexpected humour. This one again is another thriller. This one I think was $2 as well. This is Out of the Ice by Anne Turner. Again, it's to do with water and like the oceans and like Antarctica and all that, so I was like, yep, picked it up. I've also read a book called Survive. I can't remember who wrote it for the life of me, but it was a really good book, so I thought this might be like not similar but like a similar idea with being like out in the middle of like nowhere. A tense eerie thriller set in the icy reaches of Antarctica. When environmental scientist Laura Alvarado sent to a remote Antarctic island to report on an abandoned whaling station, she begins to uncover more than she could ever imagine. Reminders of the bloody, violent past everywhere, and Laura is disturbed by evidence of recent human interference. Rules have been broken and the protected wildlife is behaving strangely. On a diving expedition, Laura emerges into an icy cave. She is shocked to see an anguished figure crying for help. But in this freezing, lonely landscape, there are ghosts everywhere, and Laura wonders if her own eyes can be trusted. Has she been in the ice too long? Back at base, Laura's questions about the whaling station go unanswered, blocked by scientists, unused to outsiders, and Laura just can't shake what happened in the cave. Piecing together a past and present of cruelty and vulnerability that can be traced around the world from Norway to Nantucket, Europe and Antarctica, Laura will stop at nothing to unearth the truth. As she comes face to face with the dark side of human progress, she also discovers a legacy of love, hope and the meaning of family. If only Laura can find her way out of the ice. And the last book in the first bag, again it might be one of my most favourite books that I found, and that is Reached by Ali Condell. This is the 3rd book in the series. This one's the first book, this is Matched, and this is the second book called Crossed. This is usually what matched looks like there. This is actually the only book so far out of the ones that I've got that I've actually read. Read this back in, it must have been in like year 9 or 10 or maybe even intermediate, because one of my friends was really obsessed with the series, and I just thought like the whole like bubble thing looked really cool. So you kind of have to read the other two for this one to make sense. Cassia's journey began with a momentarily glitch in the otherwise perfect facade of the society, or facade, I never know how to pronounce that word. After crossing canyons to break free, she waits, silk and paper smuggled against her skin, ready for the final chapter. The wait is over. Cassia has raged against those who threaten to keep away what matters most: family, love, choice. Her quiet revolution will soon explode into full-scale rebellion. In the gripping conclusion to the best-selling Match trilogy, Cassia, Kai and Xander return to the society to save the one thing denied to them for so long: the power to choose. It wasn't like my most favourite series, but it is definitely a series that is worth reading. My boyfriend's currently reading the first book of this. On to bag 2. I think I spent like $45 in total. The first book we have in this bag is this one. So this one is Beautiful Creatures by Kimmy Garcia and Margaret Stoll. I think I've watched the movie to this, but I haven't read the books. Lena Duchenese, I think that's how you pronounce it, I don't know, is unlike anyone the small southern town of Gatlin has ever seen, and she's struggling to conceal her power and a curse that has haunted her family for generations. But even within the overgrown gardens, murky swamps and crumbling graveyards of the forgotten South, a secret cannot stay hidden forever. Ethan Wade, who has been counting the months until he can escape from Gatlin, is haunted by dreams of a beautiful girl he has never met. When Lena moves into the town's oldest and infamous plantation, Ethan is inexplicably drawn to her and is determined to uncover the connection between them. In the town with no surprises, one secret could change everything. And then following Beautiful Creatures, I also picked up The Beautiful Darkness, which is the second book in the series, again by Kimmy Garcia and Margaret Stoll. One night in the rain, Ethan Wade opened his eyes and fell in love with Lena Duchenese. His life would never be the same. Lena is a caster and her family is locked in a supernatural civil war. On her 16th birthday, Lena made a terrifying choice which now haunts her day and night. And as her 17th birthday approaches, Lena and Ethan face even greater danger. A caster and a mortal can never truly be together. Every kiss is a curse. Ethan's next heartbeat could be his last. Is it their curse now? There's 4 books in the series. So this one's the second one, and then you've got Beautiful Chaos and Beautiful Redemption. Again, the next book probably is one of my most favourite that I found. This one I actually saw as I was lining up for the checkout. So this one is Shopaholic Ties the Knot by Sophie Kinsella. Now if you guys have watched any of my previous hauls, you will know that I love this series. If you guys have seen the movie Confessions of a Shopaholic, that was actually based on a book by Sophie Kinsella, and it's a whole series. So you've got, there's Confessions of a Shopaholic, Shopaholic Abroad, Shopaholic and Sister, Shopaholic Ties the Knot, Shopaholic and Baby, and then Mini Shopaholic, I think. This one was the only one that I don't have, and I am so happy when I saw it there. I grabbed it straight away. Again, I have read this one before, but I absolutely loved it. I love this series. If you're really into shopping, then I highly recommend reading this series. It's a good series. Again, that one was $2. This one here, so this one is Girl Boss by Sophie Amoruso, founder and CEO of Nasty Girl, which I think is a store over in America. I think there's a TV show of this, but I haven't watched it, but I really want to. In the space of 10 years, Sophia Amoruso has gone from high school dropout to founder and executive chairman of Nasty Girl, one of the fastest growing retailers in the world. Sophia's never been a typical executive or a typical anything, and she's written #girlboss for other girls like her, outsiders and insiders seeking a unique path to success. Filled with brazen wake-up calls, cunning and frank observations, and behind-the-scenes stories from Nasty Girl's meteoric rise, #girlboss covers a lot of ground. It proves that success doesn't come from where you went to college or how popular you were in school. Success is about trusting your instinct and following your gut, knowing which rules to follow and which to break. Inspiring, motivating and empowering, #girlboss will give you the kick up the arse you need to reach your potential. So I just thought it was just one of those like motivational, feel-good kind of books. I think this one was like $2 as well. Needless to say, when we were going around, we had like Phil's gym bag and a backpack, and they both were full on the first time that we went. And then like the second time we were just like carrying books that were like this high, just like up against our chest, like both of us. Next book I found I've actually seen the movie too, and that is 21, How 6 Students Took Vegas for Millions, Bringing Down the House. This one is by Ben Messerich, An Extraordinary Story. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend watching it. It isn't one that I thought I'd just watch off the bat. My mum actually said that I'd like this movie, and she's got it, so I watched it and she was right, I loved this. Liar's Poker meets Ocean's 11 and the true story of one of the most successful scams ever, in which teams of brilliant card counters with millions of dollars from the casinos of Las Vegas and get drawn into the high life of drugs, high spending and sex along the way. Bringing Down the House is an utterly gripping, real-life thriller, now a major motion picture starring Kevin Spacey. The next book, again, might be one of my most favourite books that I found. I wasn't sure if I had this book, but I don't, and I am so glad that I picked it up. It is simply Sex and the City by Candace Bushnell. Last year I found The Carrie Diaries by Candace Bushnell, and that's kind of like the younger, kind of like PG, I guess, version of Sex and the City. I recently picked up the movie. It was in one of my hauls. I'm not sure if it's already up or coming soon. I think it will already be up by the time this video goes up. So if it is, I'll link it down below, and if it's not, then just keep an eye out. But I loved the movie. Carrie, Miranda and Sam and their stylish friends. Successful, attractive, 30-something career woman living the high life in New York. A glorious cocktail trail from the Bowery Bar to the Baby Doll Lounge, holidaying in the Hamptons and going to Aspen by Learjet. But they have more in common than just their inevitable lifestyle. They're all searching for lasting love. Finding it is easier said than done in a town full of gorgeous, single, rich men, none of whom want to settle down. Toxic bachelors and serial daters are a perennial problem, but maybe Mr. Big will be different. Sex and the City is a polished, savage and sexy look at the mating habits of Manhattan's beautiful people. This one here, so this one is The Host by Stephenie Meyer. Again, I've seen the movies for this and I actually enjoyed it. A lot of people thought that it was like quite boring and thought that I'd give the book a go and read it and see if it was any good. Melanie Strider refuses to fade away. The earth has been invaded by a species that take over the minds of their human hosts while leaving their bodies intact, and most of humanity has succumbed. Wanderer, the invading soul who has been given Melanie's body, knew about the challenges of living inside a human, the overwhelming emotions, the 2 vivid memories, but there was one difficulty Wanderer didn't expect, the former tenant of her body refusing to relinquish possession of her mind. Melanie fills Wanderer's thoughts with visions of the man Melanie loves, Jared, a human who still lives in hiding. Unable to separate herself from her body desires, Wanderer yearns for a man she's never met. As outside forces make Wanderer and Melanie unwillingly allies, they set off to search for the man they both love. Featuring what may be the first love triangle involving only 2 bodies, The Host is a riveting and unforgettable novel that will bring a vast new readership to one of the most compelling writers of our time. And it's so funny because it's got all the Twilight books on the back except for Breaking Dawn. So yeah, Stephenie Meyer wrote the Twilight series. This next book, I think this was the most expensive book that I got. I think this one was $4. I couldn't really leave it behind. This one is called Find Me Before They Do by J.S. Munro. I read the back of it and thought that it sounded like a really good read. This one again is another thriller. 5 years ago, Rosa walked to the end of the pier in the dead of night. She looked into the swirling water and jumped. She was a brilliant young Cambridge student who had just lost her father. Her death was tragic but not unexpected. Was that what really happened? The coroner says it was, but Rosa's boyfriend Jar can't let go. He sees Rosa everywhere. A face on the train, a figure on the cliff. He is obsessed with proving that she is still alive. And then he gets an email. Find me, Jar. Find me before they do. Is Rosa really dead? And if she is, who is playing games with the ones she left behind? The next book I found is one that I've actually seen the TV series to, and I loved it. It's discontinued, but if you haven't watched it, highly recommend watching it, and that is The Lying Game by Sarah Shepard, New York Times best-selling author of Pretty Little Liars. If you guys know me, you'll know that I love Pretty Little Liars. I had a life anyone would kill for, then someone did. The worst part of being dead is that there's nothing left to live for. No more kisses, no more secrets, no more gossip. It's enough to kill a girl all over again. But I'm about to get something no one else has. An encore performance, thanks to Emma, the long lost twin I never even got to meet. Now Emma's desperate to know what happened to me, and the only way to figure it out is to be me, to slip into my old life and piece it all together. But can she keep up the charade even after she realises my murderer is watching her every move? Let the lying game begin. The TV series was different to this. She didn't actually die in the TV series. Right, we have 2 more books left, ladies and gents. This next book was the second most expensive book that I got, but I knew I had to get it. So this one was $3. This one here, this one is Madeline by Kate McCann. I have been invested in this case for so long. I think since this little girl went missing, I have just been non-stop like researching. Like I did a speech on it in year 8. I think she went missing in 2004. She still hasn't been found, but whoever knows anything about this needs to come forward. It's just a really sad case, and Kate is her mum that's written this, so she just says, the decision to publish this book has been very difficult and taken with heavy hearts. My reason for writing it is simple, to give an account of the truth. Writing this memoir has entailed recording some very personal, intimate and emotional aspects of our lives. Sharing these with strangers does not come easily to me, but if I hadn't done so, I would not have felt the book gave as full a picture as it is possible for me to give. As with every action we would have taken over the last 4 years, it ultimately boils down to whether what we're doing could help us to find Madeline. With the answer to that question is yes, or even possibly our family can cope with anything. What follows is an intensely personal account, and I make no apology for that. Nothing is more important to us than finding our little girl. On a little bit of a lighter note, the last book that I found overall at the book sale this year was this one here by Nicholas Sparks. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you will know that I love Nicholas Sparks books. He's a really good author, and the movies that come out of his books are always really good. This is one that I didn't have, and I knew I didn't have it, so I knew I had to pick it up. This one is 2 for 2. I couldn't find a lot of his books other than ones that I already had, which was a little bit disappointing, but I mean, he must be a popular author. And when I went back the second time to look for books, there was a girl there, and I heard her say to her mum, oh, there's not very many Nicholas Sparks books here. And I'm thinking, girl, you should have came in the morning. Sometimes the end is just the beginning. Russell Greene has it all, a loving family, a successful career and a beautiful house. But underneath his seemingly perfect world, cracks are beginning to appear. And no one is more surprised than Russ when the life he took for granted is turned upside down. Finding himself single-handedly caring for his young daughter while trying to launch his own business, the only thing Russ knows is that he must shelter his little girl from the consequences of these changes. As Russ embarks on this daunting and unexpected new chapter of his life, a chance encounter will challenge him to find a happiness beyond anything he could have ever imagined. Those are all of the books that I found this year. I'm so happy with them. I'm so happy with every single one that I bought. I was just a little bit disappointed that I couldn't find any John Green books. If you guys did enjoy this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please check out my social media. It's all linked and listed in the description box below. I post on Instagram quite a bit, so make sure you go over and follow me on there. Again, if you did enjoy this book haul, then my playlist will be linked down below. Found quite a lot of really cool books over the years. If you guys do want to see like a what's on my bookshelf or how I organize my bookshelf kind of video, let me know in the comments, because I am already excited for the one next year. I get excited for it every year. Been excited for this one since maybe like March. Boyfriend and I will definitely be going back next year. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Oh, I'm sitting on the pillow. Actually, I feel like we might be a smidge too bright. Oh, hold on. And if you guys can hear the washing machine in the background, I do apologise. I don't know. Oh, this is so heavy. Can we just excuse the fact that my hair might look slightly emo when it's straight? I've had it cut. It's going to be another one of those times it's going to be really difficult to film, because it's a Sunday and everyone's like out and about. Oh my gosh. There's been so many motorbikes going up and down here recently. It's ridiculous. Oh, I love when my memory card just goes full. It's so annoying. I actually need to go through and just get all my footage off it and then just delete everything, but I just can't be bothered. My voice is getting really sore from talking. The overgrain, this one still has a price tag from the old place, and it's going to be really annoying to try and peel off as well. It's not going to come off satisfyingly, I don't think. Which walls? I can't speak today.